I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Robert, it's an honor. Thank you so much.
You released an amazing album. I wanted to ask you, how long did it take for this album to be put together?
You want a full story or you
Yeah,
want a short story? What
I'll
do you
take the
want?
full story.
The full story. The full story is that I was actually a retired musician. So I was this was not in my plan. It was in, I must say, my bucket list. I released CDs, I released EPs, single, the little ones, the
Mm,
45s. I had everything, but one thing was missing, a missing link in my life. I never had a full vinyl album. And in 2023, uh, I had a nice conversation with the A&R manager from NRT Records, and I mentioned this only in a small talk, WhatsApp chat, and I said, that this is it's I had I everything in my life I had already. I toured, I lived from music, everything, but I never had a fucking vinyl record because I'm an old-fashioned guy. I grew up with vinyl. My first vinyl was 1975, Elvis Presley, 40 Greatest Hits, and then AC/DC 78, and then opens the gate of hell,
sure.
opens the gate for everything. That's what for me, a vinyl record was for me like the holy grail. If you have a vinyl record with a deal, not a vinyl record and you have to sell it by yourself. So now, and then he said to me, "Why don't I make one?" I said, "What do you mean make one?" And he said, "Yeah, NOT Records." And I said, "All right." You think Philip, the boss, he's interested? So I will tell him to be interested. And then the next day I got a call and say, "Hey Richie, I heard you want to do an album." Say, "Yeah, but a vinyl. I'm not interested in the CD." He said, "Well, all right, I get it, but we do the CD as well because this is in our package." So yeah, so do you have songs? And I said, "Yeah, I have songs from my past. I have so many CDs and so many singles, and some of them I re-released already or CDs in 2024 and one 2015 some, but never really professional. You know what I mean?
Mm,
No, and never with a deal." And I said, "Okay, let's see what you have." So I put all my catalog together, and I chose the 18 best songs. I thought they are great, but 11 we need. So I said, that's is the best what I can offer from the best songs. But you can choose. Then I had my running order already for me what I want, but we had the same songs that chose, and I so we was think. Then it was like a puzzle because I recorded in Indonesia
mm,
before some albums, and they have my band. This is my great guitar player, and then I said, if I do an album, I want to record in Indonesia, in Jakarta. This the studio I love. I love the engineer there, and he's great for me. I feel so comfortable. It's like my living room there. I recorded since 2011. I said, yeah, it's okay. We handle this. We can do this. Right. And then you asked me how long it takes. So this was actually the groundwork was we have already the demos from my old recordings. Goes
sure.
back to the 80s. And then um, I had my podcast show, Metal That's Forever. And it must be April 2024, I had Markus Pfeffer in my show, and he's a great guitar player, and he produces a lot of albums. And I had already the chorus of Higher Power. I sang this already to Hans Rittel. This is the A&R. So higher power. This I had in my hand, my head. This chorus, but nothing else. So after this great interview with Markus Pfeffer, I asked him the next day, "Hey, are you interested to produce a song for me? I have a chorus. This could be the title track of my album because I had already the cover. I designed the cover.
Mm,
This was my first idea, and this is the cover. This is the dragon. Dragon means something. I have a dragon also tattooed, and so dragon means something for me
sure.
because I live in Asia. So he said, yeah, I am interested. And then 2 days later, he gave me the first idea for the higher power. And then a week later, I had Jimmy Catone, my American drummer, in my show with his music. And then I asked him if he would be interested to play on two songs. They have two songs because the rest is my drama in Indonesia. He said, yeah, absolutely. So I sent him the track for Higher Power. He played the drums perfectly. The next week, I had I had a band called Crowheart from Austria in my show, and I heard some great symphonic stuff like French horn stuff, and
Mm,
it sounds so epic stuff, you know. So I asked him, "Are you interested to do something for me on one song?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely." So I sent him the track to Austria. He gave me all this symphonic stuff. That's the only song on the album has this symphonic touch, you know.
ah,
A week later, and there was one part in the song in I speak from Higher Power, the song. There was one piece. I had no idea what Marcus meant for this. What is this, a solo? So should be this a vocal part? I don't know what this is. But suddenly, a week later, I had a band called Human Zoo in my show, and they have this. The only band I know they have a steady member, a saxophone player, Boris, and he's a great. And suddenly it hit me. This could be cool because nobody expect in a hard rock song a saxophone solos because I love Foreigner in the album. I
sure.
love Urgent. That is actually my music. So I love the 80s. So I asked him, and he says, absolutely, send me something. So I sent him the tracks, and then the first part was too much jazzy stuff, fiddle around, I
Mm,
said, no, 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 this is not what I want. I I I hear some like Kenny G meets Urgent. You know what I mean? So
yes,
start slowly, and then give everything in the climax of the song. That he delivered, and so and then another track. Then I knew, okay, this will be maybe a one album. I thought, I
sure.
thought. So that's why I want to do something with different musicians. So, and because of my show, I knew the guitar player, the mastermind of Bonfire, Hans Ziller, and he agreed to play a solo. Frank Panet, the guitar player from Bonfire, he agreed to play a solo. Then for the song "Crying in the Summer Rain," I said, I'm such a big fan of Marco Mendoza. Marco Mendoza, he's a badass bass player.
Yes.
And I interviewed him twice, and he's great dude, and he got him to play the bass on "Crying in the Summer Rain." And I was a little bit worried about in the beginning, but now I know it was the right choice because I am now known as the heavy metal host, and I look quite heavy on the album. If you see the cover, I look like tattooed and
Sure.
badass. And and I said to the guys in the label, the problem is a little bit. I have so many songs I really adore. They're my babies, and they had never had the chance to see the real heavy professional production. That's mean we have a lot of ballads on the album. And Hannes was said, you know what? It's no problem, because your ballads are not so only soft ballads. There are power ballads, They're
Absolutely.
like Saxana or what song? I lost my faith in you. The end, they are powerful ballads with a lot of drumming and rough guitars. So it's not there are some soft songs, of course, personal songs like Goodbye My Little Boy. It's
Mm,
very, very personal, and Woman in Doubt, for example, is also such a cool track because it was my first single, the B-side of my first single, which was a little hit in my hometown, And so this was from 84. So it's over 40 years old. That is actually how it came together. So it was not meant, and then suddenly I was the producer. So I was right from the first tone to the last tone. I
wow.
was even included. I was sitting next to the guy who mastered the album, mixed and mastered, and this was for me a new experience because I never was next to a guy who mastered a
Sure.
album. So, and this was incredible because, man, I asked him actually, I said, so the mix is actually very cool. So what I could expect now? He said, three times better? What? I said, what? He said, three times better. I said, are you kidding? I said, no, wait and see. And then I heard it. Oh man, what a different for a mix to the mastering,
Sure.
you know. And I
Yes.
must say, I have give credit to Hannes because when we did the mastering, we sent the tracks to Austria, so online, you know, of course. And he checked it in small speakers, big speakers, studio speakers, high end speakers to hear are we on the right track? And he said, now it's cool, it sounds good, and so
And you
that's actually the
mentioned I
story of
lost,
higher power.
and you mentioned I lost my faith in you. That to me
Yes,
was a standout track on the album.
you know how this song? I wrote this song in 2003 on the day when USA attacked Iraq, and everybody was shocked. Now so we have a war suddenly here. So I was in Thailand in this time, and I switched to the channels, and suddenly I was on a French channel, and there was a live footage of a morgue of a woman, a mother. Sitting on the floor, and in front of her was her killed baby, and she screamed to the air, and so and I thought she lost for sure. She lost the faith in God now. She lost the baby. You know this, and that's why in the lyric it's some people thought it's me or my son. No, it's
Hmm.
actually a woman in Iraq who mourned the loss of her baby.
And we spoke about your journey into podcasting. I wanted to ask you, could you speak on the reasons and your mission as a podcaster?
Absolutely, it's for me support for my fellow musicians because it's nowadays it's so hard. It's to
Sure.
make money, you know, to make a living, and for me as a hardcore metalhead, and since ACDC is 78, and then the whole 80s the best time in my life, you know, and then I'm a musician as well, and to see, especially I tell you when COVID hit, and I started the show in the 1st of January 2021, so in the height of COVID, and I saw so many famous musicians had time suddenly, you know, and I saw the panic in their eyes because and some of them told me, you know, some of them are close to crying because have a mortgage, have to, a mortgage to pay, the house and the family to feed, and suddenly out of business, you know, and that's why right now I'm so close for I launched a new website called Metalheads World. It's a website plus I do a live daily show from Monday to Friday in the morning show in Germany. Would be actually in the night in America, but it's German podcast, which I will also including underground. I really hope to have a little bit help, and I helped a lot of bands already. They told me I gave them a platform. Nobody listened to them, and suddenly I gave them an interview, a 2 hour interview. We talk about the songs. I want to know what is the lyrics, what is the story behind, and give the audience idea about this band, and give the band a platform. And so to answer the question, support.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great mission because I spent a lot of my time reviewing albums. I go through about 20, 30 new releases a week, and then I send out invites to get interviews just to help with exposure because without, used to be back in the day, you were sponsored by your label. Now,
Yeah,
many bands are unsigned to labels and they're independents, and it's hard to get their voice out to be heard.
absolutely. Yeah, I loved, and I was excited. This is my first interview for a higher powered album for American station. I'm very pleased about this, you know, because it's for me, you know, I don't know, you don't know, I'm a half American, not born in America, but my father was American, so I have a bond with America. So because my half blood is from America, you know, he was a GI, but he was killed in Vietnam, unfortunately. But I have to mention this always because my English is not the best, but When I moved 29 years ago to Thailand, I had about 20 words of English. And so because of my connection to the Americans and English people in Thailand, so I learned the language somehow, you know. And
And then getting back to the album, I wanted to ask if you could speak on a track, Come Give Me Your Love.
yes, one of my favorite because it was the B-side of my second single, 1988. And this song has first as a single, vinyl single, then it came out in 2015 in the album Rock the Heaven. And 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 I always knew this song is something special, and especially Frank Panet. He played a fucking great solo in the end, you know, and this is like Hannes Ritter said. Now we have Whitesnake vibe also on the album because he brought this. I hear somehow John Sykes
Hmm.
this style, you know. And so when Frank sent me the this will be the next video.
Oh, wow.
So we released a video, yeah, but I had a problem with my computer, so I had a crash here. So we just fixing it, and so soon I can edit the video because I have already some the band my band members, and this song is twice on the album. I don't know you have the single version because my guitar player in Indonesia, even May, he played also the solo for this, and I lost my faith in you,
Hmm.
and because this is a little bit different to Frank Panet, but also excellent, you know.
Sure.
This is like a bonus track on the CD. On a vinyl, it's not. We have only 9 tracks on the vinyl, but on the CD, deluxe is 13 songs.
And we talked about the creation of the track Higher Power. Did this light a spark in you to continue writing?
Yes, yeah. Actually, when this moment arrived in my life, like a second chance as a musician, because I was done. I was saying, okay, I never will record. I will never will be on stage again. So I was on stage in Thailand for 4 shows, first time since 2020, last January. Excellently, it was a great tour in Thailand, and I said, if this really happening now with this album, this must be a higher power. There is
Sure.
somebody looking for me, and say, hey, you are not done. And this was the moment, yes. Like I said before, like a puzzle. It was unbelievable. So it was like step by step it's coming together. And when when I recorded the last song in Indonesia, then and had we put everything together for the mixing. Wow, I did it, and I had a fixed budget. I had a fixed time. I was 1 month in Indonesia, and I recorded. And this is especially on this. I think that this is special on this album. This is a complete played live played album. 9 songs with the band, like we recorded in the 80s and in the
Hmm.
90s, like drummer first, bass player second, keyboard, guitar, vocals, harmony, then choir. I did everything by myself, and I was the producer, and I was the ass kicker because sometimes they need a little bit more smoke in time. Say, hey,
Sure.
come on, fellas. I was the badass, but always with a sense of humor, of course. But I had my label in my back. Say, hey, we have a budget, and this budget we cannot blue. There's no way. And I had also flight there, and my wife was with me, and hotels and taxis and food, So it
Mhm.
was for 1 month suddenly became expensive, but it was worth, and I'm pleased with the outcome of the album. I must say.
And this amazing album is out. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. I wanted to ask you, what is the best way to get a physical copy of this album and any merchandise that you have?
Uh, Bandcamp, Bandcamp, they can order. But the album is also available worldwide in the shops. It's everywhere. So far I know. I don't know how it is in America,
Mhm.
but Bandcamp is the best way how to order.
Excellent. And speaking of that, are there considerations of keeping the band together and doing some shows?
Yes and no. For the Rich Newton music, I am not sure I put a band together because I'm in the Philippines. And actually, I had plans to do shows now because I'm an author, so I write books. And
Mm.
my sixth book came out, and I had shows planned, so rock and read, and play my higher power music, some of the songs in my rock and read. It's backing track shows, without band. But right now, I'm producing two albums with one called Hellfire and Warwick, and there's a two bands, actually three bands from the 90s, which I recorded, and one band was only a demo, 5 songs, all songs on the album because they're excellent. The other one was a EP with 4 songs, also all in it. And then one is a band called Monsters. This was former band Mess. I was singer in the 80s, Mess. And then Monsters was the second part of this band. And we recorded with the Crocus producer, Martin Pearson. And there's one song. This was my first song I wrote with the guitar player of Monsters. This is Chained to the Rhythm, and this will be also on the album. And right now, my drummer Jimmy Catone plays the whole album, the drums. My bass player Horst Singibel plays all bass stuff for both bands. And then Markus Pfeffer, the guy who played Higher Power, the track, he plays the whole guitar for the whole album. And for the other album called Newton Rocks, this is the music of my bass player Horst Singibel, also songs from 40 years.
Wow.
And there we have also a great Jimmy Catone plays the whole album drums, and the guitar player is Francesco Maras. He's the ex guitar player of Tigers of Pantang. He's excellent, and both of them producing right now. The one in Germany, the other in America, in Michigan, and Horst in Germany, the bass. And as soon I get the tracks, I record here in my studio. We have a portable studio coming to my studio, and we record here the vocals. And mixed will be in Hamburg. And so next year we planning hopefully 2027 to do live shows. Maybe I will or two songs from the Higher Power album. Maybe Higher Power, the song on Come Give Me
Sure.
Love. These two songs maybe we put also as a reference to my album, but it's not yet decided what because we have a great two albums we record, but it's different. It's heavy metal. My Hellfire and Warwick is more uh, true metal, so mix between Accept, Judas Priest, Dio, and Newton Rocks is more, let's say, what is the name in English? In German, it's anspruchsvoll. It's more demanding stuff. It's
Mhm.
even the vocals are different, It's so and great guitar stuff and driving drums. So fantastic stuff.
And in speaking on that, I wanted to ask you, when you perform live, what can fans expect when they see you?
Well, I think I'm not the world best singer in the world, so I must say, but I am a frontman. I love David Coverdale, Ronnie James Dio, Bon Scott, my all-time heroes. I love them. And what they expect. I I think what they expect I can expect is it's honest metal, fun. Power, and I always try involve my audience in my shows. I did 3,600 concerts in my life, and this was always my goal. And most of them, I was an Elvis tribute artist, always alone. And if you're alone on stage, this is the hard school. This is the
Sure.
school of rock, because you are alone. You have nobody. You cannot say the guitar player or something. You are alone. Everybody's watching you. And the first thing what I do, the first two, 3 songs, I read my audience and I see who is my victim. I can involve in my crowd. Who sings? I can see on the eyes. So I am a master actually to read my audience, and of course. When I have a wild crowd in front of me, the wilder the crowd, the wildest the front man. You know.
And lastly, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
Well, I am the best example now. Never give up the dream, Don't stop dreaming because you have no idea, what is around the corner. If you stop dreaming, the dream is over. And
Sure.
and I am the best example now because I must say I am also in a high because I was very sick a year ago, in April, beginning of April. I my uh, uh, rheumatism, arthritis, was so bad that I couldn't walk anymore. I couldn't touch anything.
Wow.
I was done, and I found the right doctor, and now I do since months now. I do box training. I really kick ass now. I slim down 20 kilos. I exercise nearly every day, and so health is also very important. And so that's
Yes.
with 61. I'm 61 now, 62 in December. So I feel more healthy than 40 years ago.
Yeah, I'm a year behind you. We went through trauma at the same time. Last year, I went through uh, stage 4 prostate cancer and had my prostate removed. And the thing that always kept me going was, as you know, as a musician, we have so many fans in the music world that support us and,
Yeah.
keep us going. And I think, it's the community that got me through.
Yes. And let's say, because we are not youngsters anymore, so we relived the great times, like the 70s, 80s. 80s
Sure.
was such a amazing time,
Yes.
and the love, in all the concerts, when we went to see Motley Crue, or Dio,
Hmm.
or Ozzy and Judas Priest, and the camaraderie. You see now big festivals, Wacken, and all these big festivals, when the people are really in love. They say they have one love. It is metal and the
Sure.
music and the passion. And this is such a yeah. If everybody would be like this, like metalheads, the world would be a much better place. I can tell you.
Absolutely. I truly believe that. And I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Absolutely. I talk a lot. I have to. I'm afraid.
It's an absolute
Can I
pleasure speaking with you.
can I ask you a personal question? What
Sure.
is your favorite, or the favorite three songs on the album?
It'd be Higher Power, and the two songs we discussed. Um, the first being lose I lost my faith in you, and then Come Give Me Your Love were my three favorites. I've just really the thing that really brought I Lost My Faith in You out for me was the placement on the album. I felt it was a perfect point to put it, and it
Hmm.
really grabbed me at that point in the album. It really pulled me in, and
That is nice.
yeah, and that's an art. I talk a lot with artists, and I say, the art that I hate to see go, and I'm glad to see the resurgence of albums, is that the idea of a side A and side B. Because that art for a long time was disbanded because people were just digital and they were downloading certain songs and they lost the whole feel of the album.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
when I hear an album, I want to hear the whole thing. I don't want to hear a song, random song here, random song there.
This was in our time impossible. When we had an album, the album was played every track. There was not jumping. And then after a while, okay, then you go to your favorite song maybe. But in the beginning, the first three, four, five times, 10 times, you play
Sure.
from the beginning to the end. And I agree. And that was also, it was for me also complete new, because I didn't had I had single A and B side,
Hmm.
but never a vinyl, and I still waiting for my vinyl. I would lovely to have it here and show it to you, because it's on the way. It's a DHL. It's maybe arrive tomorrow, after tomorrow, next week. I don't know. It's already a long time on the way, but there's also a poster inside, and I was my lecturer. She's 89 year old, and she got the merchandise, 15 vinyls, because this was meant for my show in my hometown, but it was canceled. So she has already the merchandise in her place. And when she opened, I saw the poster from the Dragon, the front
Mm.
cover, the Dragon, and this is a badass big poster. And so it was so big that her cleaning lady, she couldn't hold it. It was so big. So holy shit, this is a badass big poster. So the people get something because I think the artwork is great. The dragon.
Mm.
And I never said told this anybody in an interview so far. This is the first English interview anyway. But nobody know that this dragon on the front has a name.
Really?
Yes,
What is the name?
Reno.
Ah,
And Reno is my son. He passed away 11 years ago. And he's my lucky charm. He's not a
sure.
bad dragon. He looks a little bit strange, but this album is dedicated, but it's not really mentioned too much, because the
Mm.
story was all over the place in the TV also before when he died. I was in the TV before, in a famous German TV special, and so I don't want to write on this too much,
Sure.
but people who knows me and know the album now and they hear the song Go By My Little Boy. This is a special song for me. This is
Sure.
it will be all my all-time favorite song, of course. I have some really really highlights on the album for my. That's why every song is for me important, because even the last song was Winds of Destiny. This song is such a cool story, if you don't mind to tell a story, because sometimes life, somebody, I don't know where the idea came from, but I was in a shopping plaza here in Davao City in the Philippines, and waiting for a hoodie made
Mm.
in a printing shop, and they told me come in 3 hours. So I waited 3 hours, came back. They not even started with this hoodie. So
Wow.
I was angry. I was angry. So, but about 50 meters or 100 meters away was a little coffee shop. So like a stall, and some seats. So I ordered a coffee, and my wife, she she actually she booked a ticket for Indonesia. That was it, yeah. So it was close to the recording, and I needed a poppy song. I said I have everything on the album already. A heavy track like Glory Hallelujah. I have like a bombastic track. This is Higher Power. I have a
Mhm.
groove track. This is Come Give Me Love. Ballads. So I have all of it, but I don't have a pop song. I want some catchy pop song.
Sure.
And I sitting there, drink my coffee, and suddenly I had the melody of Winds of Destiny in my head,
Oh, wow.
and I said, "Oh, this is cool." And I sang to my phone, and I was suddenly, complete. I was like in trance. I didn't see that people were standing next to me and listening to me. As I was sitting there, so like Winds of Destiny. Da, 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 da. Oh, this is catchy. And suddenly I look, and there was people starting clapping. I said, what's happening here? I say, good, good, good. Sing, sing. I say,
Yes.
I just composing a song. And this song is exactly like I sang it on my phone. Then I played it to my guys in Indonesia, the chords, and play. Then this is the song. But funny how sometimes songs come to somebody,
Well, thank you again for taking time to speak with me. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, my friend.
Robert, thank you so much for my first album interview to America. That is a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much. And yeah, and all your viewers and listeners, greetings from the Philippines. Get the album Higher Power. I appreciate. Send me some love. Send me some messages. I always answer. It's for me a honor to get messages from people around the world.
Cheers, my friend.